Hello everyone, and welcome to Counselor Error Feature Friday. I'm your host, Brian Urban. In these features, I hope to give you some simple tips, tidbits, and tricks to make your days easier and your patients happier. In this feature, we're going to talk about excluding quote invoices from the invoice locking feature. All right, so to get to this screen, we'll start by clicking Administration in the top menu bar and then selecting Invoice Options. Now there's a lot of things you can do here, but we're going to focus specifically on the invoice locking feature. Now, in case you're not already aware of this, the invoice locking feature gives you a great deal of control over potential changes to invoices, to line items, to payments, right, to the invoice themselves, and gives you the ability to lock those invoices or activities on them based on custom days looking backward, as well as preventing future changes to future dating on those invoices. So a lot of control here. But one exception to this rule oftentimes is around quote invoices. So these are invoices that specifically have the invoice status set as quote. These are invoices that are oftentimes created to provide obviously a quote for hearing aids, for example. And so they're not official invoices yet, right? You can't make an insurance claim off of them. They don't show up in your business metrics, right? Because they're just kind of set aside. In the case of quote invoices, you may want to have invoice locking in place, but have quote invoices exempt from that because you still want to make changes over time because once again, it's not really an official invoice at that point if the invoice status is set as quote. So this feature enables you to, of course, exclude quote invoices. So you can set whatever rules you like for past invoices for locking and for any future restrictions, right? You can do that as you see fit, but then exclude quote invoices. If you do activate this feature, you do want to make sure you click Save at the bottom of the screen or deactivate, same idea, and that will immediately take effect moving forward. Now, just a quick note on invoice locking. As you may already know, there are features within the individual user profiles where you can opt people out of invoice locking. So if you have certain staff members where you say, okay, we want invoice locking across the board. However, for certain people, we want to override that lock. That may allow them to make changes in very specific situations where it's appropriate, but you still keep the control overall. So if the invoice lock override feature is in place, then this user would be able to make changes regardless of the past, future, or quote exemption lock settings if they're not there in place. All right. If you have any questions about the invoice locking features in general, or specifically excluding quotes, please give us a call, email us, live chat us. We are always happy to help. Thank you very much for joining us for today's Counselor Error Feature Friday. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.